How's it going, my friends? Fringy here, and this comes a time every year where people on the internet rage because Call of Duty has just released and sells 20 million copies, and I assume that will be no different this year. Call of Duty Ghosts marks the 10th entry in the Call of Duty franchise, the 10th year of the franchise, and quite honestly, is probably one of the worst entries in the franchise, in my humble, very angry opinion. Why is this one of the worst releases? And why do I have fun with it, despite how awful this game is? Well, you're going to find out. Welcome to Fringy Reviews, Call of Duty Ghosts. Let's start with the single player, which is a mixed bag for me. So, coming into this game, the graphics are just awful. Like some of the worst graphics I have seen in a AAA release like this. When you compare Call of Duty Ghosts to Battlefield 4, it's not hard. The clear, better looking game is Battlefield 4. And Call of Duty Ghosts looks dated. And all the reviews who say, this game still looks good on next gen. No, it doesn't. It does not. On highest on my PC, it looks awful. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, is the performance in this game is awful. The game drops to 30 frames per second when I look in the direction of something. It's random, it's ridiculous, it's poorly optimized. And again, do not buy the PC port if you can, because it is not a good port. And until they patch it, this is going to be a serious issue for a lot of people. This game looks dated. But let's move on to the actual single-player campaign. So, the story this time features a character named Logan, his brother Hesh, his father, and a Tier 1 team called the Ghosts. Essentially, in this game, South America has combined to become one big conglomerate called the Federation, who is moving up north and taking over the US. So it's up to the Ghosts to save the day. Now, from a narrative standpoint, this is probably the worst narrative in a Call of Duty game. I didn't think anything could top Modern Warfare 3's absurd ridiculousness and absurd retardedness in the story. But this game definitely gives it its best shot, and to be quite honest with you, this is the worst story in a Call of Duty game, and I would say that it tops Battlefield 4 in terms of stupid shooter stories. The characters are awful. At least with Modern Warfare, you had cool characters like Soap, Price, Ghost. In this, not the case. Not the case. They're awful. They're just the worst. You will not like these characters, and the fact that this game is set up to be a franchise means that you're going to see more of these characters later on. The fact that I liked the bad guy and wanted him to win over the protagonist tells you something. That story, it is just so confusing, convoluted, and ridiculous. You will never know what is going on. Everything jumps from one place to another, and the game is not really a story, rather a series of dot points that allow the game to have these really spectacular set pieces, which is one of the strengths of the campaign. The set pieces in this are some of the best in the franchise. Just jaw-dropping, not from a visual standpoint, but more from just the, oh wow, that's so kick-ass, that's awesome sort of way. This allows for more variety in the actual gameplay in the single-player campaign. And I would say that in terms of variety, this game has a lot more variety in terms of gameplay. You'll be flying helicopters, deploying in tanks, using anti-aircraft things to take out choppers. It's pretty cool. And this variety makes the game more interesting for its incredibly short 4-hour campaign. Ridiculously short campaign, rivaling Modern Warfare 2 in terms of its length. Now, it's still a linear game, a very linear corridor shooter, and the shooting bits are the same as ever before and not really all that enjoyable in some ways. On the whole, the campaign is disappointing, where I look to a Call of Duty game for jaw-dropping spectacle, and in the case of the Treyarch games that actually have decent stories, but this one fails. The characters are stereotypes and just awful, unrelatable douchebags, and trust me, I do not look forward to meeting these characters in the next game. And before we end the campaign, that ending is the biggest kick in the balls ever. The biggest sequel baiting ending even more so than Halo 2. Seriously, just the massive kick in the balls ending. Oh my god. Of course, this is the main event. The multiplayer is the core of the Call of Duty experience, and how is it here, you might ask? Well, it's an odd question because, to be quite honest with you, it's the same as the last 6 or 7 Call of Duty games. In terms of game modes, they have added some new cool ones like Cranked and Blitz, but they've gotten rid of some fan favorites like Search and Destroy, which is only available in private, and Demolition and Sabotage are gone. Absolutely gone, which is insanely ridiculous. Included are 15 maps, all of which are very large and very poorly designed. Modern Warfare 3 had bad maps, but Ghost takes this to the extra level. Too much verticality in so many of the maps. 2 or 3 maps do the verticality right, such as Warhawk, but on the whole, a lot of these maps will leave you running around finding it difficult to find enemies, aided by the absolutely cumbersome and ridiculous minimap, which is more confusing than ever before. In terms of your weapon classes, they've added some new additional features. You can now customize your character. However, the character customization is very limited. When you start, you will not be able to access all the character skins, which means that if you're Asian and you want to customize your character, that's too bad, you gotta unlock that. If you ask me, things like that should be available from the start. All skin selections and race selections should be available from the start. And it's very hard to unlock new weapons. For the first time, Infinity Ward has actually taken a step from Treyarch and employed one of their systems, which is a good addition if you ask me. The Pick 10 system is sort of back in a different way with squad points. Essentially, you use these squad points to unlock weapons, customizations, and perks, of which there are more perks than ever before. Set up into different point tiers, these perks will take up different amounts of points in your selection. For example, you could have a 5-point perk and a 3-point perk to make up 2 really powerful perks, or you could have 8 1-point perks. This is a pretty cool addition and it allows for a lot of customization in varying ways, which I find to be very interesting. But at the core of the experience, how is the multiplayer? The multiplayer is the same as before. The gunplay is exactly the same, and if you don't like the Call of Duty formula or you're tired of it, nothing, and I mean nothing here will change your mind. It feels just like Modern Warfare 3. And that also means the terrible lag issues at launch. This game is plagued with lag issues that the reviews cannot cover. These are the sort of things that you need to see firsthand, but I've been killed when I am behind a wall because of the lag. I've watched kill cams where I haven't fired bullets despite the fact that I fire half a magazine in certain points, and the fact that the optimization is poor despite what graphical settings you put this game on means that it is very difficult experience playing this game online. What does this mean? What does this mean as my verdict for the game? Call of Duty Ghosts is the most is the game that I would consider to be suffering from severe sequelitis. Worse than Modern Warfare 3 was, and I thought nothing could top that. But Infinity Ward has proven once again that they can top the disappointments that they have presented in the Call of Duty franchise as opposed to Treyarch. They have a single-player campaign that has no choices like Black Ops 2, a dreadful story, awful characters, the same linear scope with new variety. Graphically, it is hideous, the voice acting is dreadful, and on the whole, the only good thing about the sound aspect is the sound effects, which are still reasonably good, but don't hold an inch to the Battlefield 4 sound system, which is phenomenal. The multiplayer is the same as ever, with similar weapons, but awful maps that are taken from Modern Warfare 3 with too much verticality, and yet I still had fun with this game. But the fact that I have pointed out so many things wrong with this game means that I can't give this game a good score. I just can't, because it's not a good game. On the whole, Call of Duty Ghosts is awful. Call of Duty Ghosts is not a good game. The fact that I have fun with it pushes it up slightly, but in terms of its game design, it is suffering from severe sequelitis, terrible graphics, and just a lack of innovation Worse so than other franchises like Assassin's Creed, which has found its footing again with Assassin's Creed 4. I'm sorry, but Call of Duty Ghosts is not a good game, and that's why Call of Duty Ghosts receives a 6 out of 10, which means that it is a mediocre game, a decent game. So, if you want to pick up another Call of Duty games, by all means, buy Call of Duty Ghosts, but I will tell you that if you have the slightest doubt about picking up this game, don't pick it up. Or if you even have the doubt, at least wait a couple of months until the game gets better. I'm Fringy123, and you've just watched a Fringy Review. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.